Well, thank you, everybody, for all your patience. Sorry for the wait. And I want to welcome everyone in the room with us here, a lot of you, and as well from all around the state. We have quite a few people online, and we really appreciate your being present for the launch of this very important initiative. And it is my honor to give you State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Megan Degenfelder.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. We have dozens of folks online and in the room for this very, very exciting announcement and unveiling of a new initiative here in the state of Wyoming, the Statewide Language and Literacy Initiative. When I first ran for this office, one of my campaign platforms was all focused on literacy. And when I came into office in 2023, it became one of our six key initiative areas. And that's because if a child cannot read at grade level, particularly by the third grade, they are far less likely to graduate high school. They are far less likely to be successful in work and in life. And there are too many children that have gone unidentified in this state for reading difficulties and dyslexia, and that were not given the proper intervention that they needed to be successful. Over the past couple of years, we have made it a priority at the Department of Education around literacy and have done much effort. We took remaining COVID dollars and prioritized them for letters training across the state of Wyoming. We continue to manage a federal grant as well as a literacy conference. And at long last, we promulgated rules around K-3 reading assessment and interventions. That progress, it has worked. This year, as a state, the 2025 YTOP state assessment results showed ELA returning to pre-pandemic levels, and we saw an increase of over 2% proficiency from last year. Third grade English language arts results on the YTOP assessment in particular increased by 4.9% over the last 2 years. I want to take a moment to recognize a couple of folks with the Department of Education that worked tirelessly the past couple of years on these efforts. The first is Shelley Hamill. I'm not sure if she's online today, but she managed all of the COVID relief dollars that came to the Department of Education. She oversaw the work on promulgating rules and supervised the literacy team. We also have had our CLSD grant team, including Claudia Ladd, Kylie Korpening, Denise Ferdig, and Amy Reyes that have worked hard on all of those efforts. But the fact of the matter is this: no matter how much progress we've seen in the last 2 years or the efforts that we've undertaken, there is still much work to do. Nationwide, reading proficiency in this country has decreased from 2022 to 2024. While Wyoming is ranked third nationwide in reading in in fourth grade, we dropped to 16th in the 8th grade. While third grade English language arts results have increased, we still have districts in this state where there is single-digit proficiency percentages. And our average proficiency for third grade is just over 53%. Additionally, there remain children that are under-identified or not identified at all for their reading difficulties and go unserved. Wyoming does not settle for good. We strive for great. And so no matter the progress we have seen, we still have much, much work to do. And that is why we find ourselves here today. And why today we announce the Statewide Language and Literacy Initiative. Because not one entity, not one group, not one politician, not one person can move the needle fully on literacy. It takes us all. It takes every piece of the educational pipeline, from state law to preparing future teachers, to current in-service teachers, to our advocacy from our parents, to ensure that we move the needle and we recognize children who need support to learn to read. All of our players, and we're growing as we speak, have come together today for this great event. And so Today we roll out more than just individual initiatives. We roll out more than just some new projects or new things to try and see what works. Today we roll out the beginning of a coalition around literacy in this state. We roll out change, a tidal wave of change that says that we as a state, we refuse to stop working until every single student is reading at grade level. We will not stop until that goal is met. Today, we're going to talk about all of the different players in this new coalition today and some exciting new partnerships, new initiatives that are going to be rolled out to our school districts. The first will be around our legislative partners, recognizing that state law is integral in this process and the need to update our state statutes to match the efforts that we seek to have. So we'll hear from our legislator partners and Senator Schuler here shortly. We also have our governor, who has just earlier this month signed a proclamation recognizing Dyslexia Awareness Month. Second, we have new partners in our effort to aid teachers that are currently in the classroom. This is around our in-service teachers, and that falls on us at the department to be able to support them, as well as our partners in higher learning. Third will be around certification, raising the bar when it comes to how we certify our teachers and how we best prepare our future teachers, our pre-service teachers. Fourth will be our partners in parents. The role of parents in this effort is incredible. And parental empowerment is something that we seek to do in every area of education. Literacy is an area where we want our parents to be involved, to understand, to advocate. So first, I want to start with our senator and our chairman of the Joint Education Committee of the Senate, Wendy Schuler. Please, Wendy, if you would come share the efforts that are to come from the Joint Education Committee.
Thank you, Superintendent. It's interesting. Most of what she said was what I was going to say. So my speech is going to be very short, but I'm happy to be here to be part of this coalition. We know that I'm an old coach, so we know we have to work together as a team to make anything happen. And so I'm very happy to jump on board with all the partners that are here, as well as our folks around Wyoming, to try and get this across the finish line. We did have some draft legislation last year to help with literacy, and we just didn't have it right. And I think that's why it didn't get across the finish line. So in November, we'll be back down here with our Joint Education Committee. I think it's the 13th and 14th in Cheyenne. And I hope some of you here in the room will come and testify and give us your input and give us your ideas about how we can do a better job with whatever draft legislation we come up with, because we want to get it right. We understand that even though we've made progress in the last few years, I mean, as the superintendent mentioned, our NAEP scores are not too bad for our fourth graders, but we're still leaving kids behind. And even if we're in the top 5 in the nation, there's still kids that are behind, that are not proficient. And if we don't teach them to read before fourth grade, that follows them all the way through. And many of them will drop out of school, make different career choices because of their lack of reading. So we know that if they can't read, they can't learn. So we want to be able to be helpful with what little bit we can do at the legislature to get some legislation across the line this year. And we also want to make sure that we're working with all of you so that it's right, it's done right. And ultimately, we want to make sure that with this initiative, that our parents get a little bit more involved. I think that's part of the issue we've been leaving behind. We know that there's some parents that are out there beating the drums all the time. We hear from them, but we want to try and get all of the folks out there, especially those parents of those kids who are not reading at proficient levels. So my hope is that we can engage parents, we can engage schools, we can engage our communities, and obviously the legislature. And I'm going to do my best as the Senate chairman to try and get the best legislation we can across the line, so that you guys will feel good about it, and our teachers will, and obviously we've got to get them tip-top training. There's no doubt about that. I think sometimes we've left that behind, and obviously we've done some work with screening, so we're doing better in that area, but we need to do more, as we all know. So we want to make sure that it's a community thing, that it's a team thing, because as we know, you can't, it takes a village, not just to raise children, but it takes a village to help them be able to learn to read and be successful. And with that, I hope that was enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. As we know, our state statutes are incredibly important in this process, the authority that they give to the department to be able to promulgate rules, and we appreciate your partnership from the legislative branch. Now, of course, we know, however, that state law and regulation, as the senator alluded to, is not everything. And we need to make sure that we are equipping our teachers, we're providing them the training to be able to reach that bar that the legislature sets. And so next, we want to announce some exciting new partnerships and initiatives for our in-service teachers. The first one is in collaboration with Cox Campus. Cox Campus couldn't be with us here today. I believe that they are tuning in, but we're very excited that they are going to be providing free professional development, and this is very thorough, several dozens of hours of professional development training, and I'll let Ms. Ladd speak to that a little bit more. That'll be available to everyone in the state of Wyoming, teachers, folks that are teaching kids that are out of public schools, folks that are in our early childhood centers. And so Ms. Ladd will speak a little bit more about that. The second area I want to recognize is an exciting announcement that we rolled out with a press release not too long ago, but the fact that we have worked hard with our federal partners to secure a $24.4 million grant around literacy. Now, before Ms. Ladd comes up, I do want to recognize her tireless efforts in securing these dollars for our state. Claudia has worked well into the midnight hours to make sure that we were able to meet those deadlines to receive these funds. And she'll speak a little bit about how that process, that application process, will work out for districts. Additionally, at the Department of Education, we recently had a reorganization where we took a look at the state agency and what we had in terms of staffing around literacy. We made the decision to change a higher level leadership position and to reclassify that to a literacy position. We have previously not had someone that was not otherwise funded by temporary grants that were leading literacy and early childhood at the Department of Education. That position has just been posted, and we are excited to have someone enter into that role soon. With that, I want to now bring up Ms. Claudia Ladd, who again has been our champion for literacy at the Department of Education, to talk some more about Cox Campus and the CLSD grant.
Thank you. This is an exciting day, and as we reflect on John Maxwell's quote, everything rises and falls with literacy leadership. Today we gather as a united group as we're representing many systems change leaders. We're going to move forward on behalf of our children in the state and increase our language and literacy. We're thrilled to be able to announce a partnership with Cox Campus that Superintendent just spoke about. What that does is that brings forward the opportunity for stakeholders, families, and educators to get a clear perspective on structured literacy and a pathway to earning their credential with structured literacy. In addition, we are excited to announce that the John P. Elbogen Foundation has launched the Elbogen Language and Literacy Fellowship in partnership with WDE. This will cover the costs for 100 of our educators that have followed through with the Cox Campus course, and then, and then they will get funding to take the K-Perry exam. That is our highest level. So thank you so much to the Elbogen Foundation for jumping in with that. Third, we are excited, as you said, to talk about the Comprehensive Literacy State Development Project. We'll be opening a competitive grant process that represents Wyoming's statewide commitment to strengthening how language and literacy are taught, supported, and sustained. This project is grounded in evidence-based practices aligned with the science of reading. And the model for this is a coaching and implementation project. I know we're getting a lot of questions. We're so excited to dive into all the details and make this publicly available on our website on November 3rd. So we'll look forward to connecting more deeply on that. Thank you so much.
And on that note, I wanted to see if anyone from the Elbogen Foundation is online. They were traveling today and unable to attend. But the second piece to the Cox Campus offering, as Claudia mentioned, is the fact that we just received confirmation that the Elbogen Foundation is going to pledge $16,500 that will provide this fellowship for up to 100 teachers in the state of Wyoming. So once again, thank you to the Elbogen Foundation. The one more piece that we have to providing support for our in-service teachers, and that is the LRCC, or the Literacy Research Center and Clinic at the University of Wyoming. And so I now want to bring up Kim Gustafson to speak about the LRCC, their works to provide supports to our in-service teachers, including the upcoming dyslexia specialist program. So Kim.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Superintendent, for inviting us here today. I'm honored to share an update on the work of UW's College of Education Literacy Research Center and Clinic, or LRCC, because it is a mouthful, and the professional development that we provide to educators across the state. Since 2014, the LRCC has been Wyoming's trusted partner in advancing literacy excellence. We have worked with 17 counties to date in the state through customized professional development, literacy needs assessments, and consultation, building lasting partnerships with school districts. Our professional development is co-constructed with schools, focusing on long-term context-embedded support. We work side by side with teachers, instructional coaches, and administrators to strengthen classroom practice and improve student learning. To date, the LRCC has engaged more than 1,000 Wyoming educators in literacy professional development through statewide conferences, district work, and online modules. Feedback consistently highlights the value of this sustained, relationship-driven approach. The LRCC is currently funding its first literacy endorsement cohort of 11 teachers and developing a dyslexia graduate certificate program that will be free for at least one cohort of 10 teachers per year. These first cohorts are just the beginning, building a growing network of literacy leaders across Wyoming. The work is made possible through generous donor support for the LRCC, the College of Education, and the University of Wyoming. As part of UW's land grant mission, the LRCC is committed to serving Wyoming educators first. Collaborating with the Wyoming Department of Education is central to this mission, and we maintain an ongoing partnership with the WDE and Wyoming schools to strengthen statewide literacy leadership and improve outcomes for all Wyoming learners. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our partners in this effort to provide professional development to our in-service teachers. Now, the next step of the pipeline is how do we address our future teachers, our pre-service teachers? And the University of Wyoming has become a critical partner in this. We must work together if we want to truly change the tide in literacy in Wyoming. So I'm now proud to introduce Dean Dr. Jenna Shim.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Degenfelder. I think there's nothing more exciting than group of people that are like-minded with a shared goal to come together to have these discussions. As Superintendent have said, my name is Jenna Shim, and I'm currently serving as John P. Jack Elbogen Dean of College of Education. I mentioned this full title because Elbogen Foundation has been incredible supporter and advocate for all the things that's going on that's related to education statewide in Wyoming and also College of Education. And I am very honored to carry this title. I have been in Wyoming for 16 years and now going on my 3rd year in this current position. And I feel very privileged to carry on the responsibility of Land Grant University and due diligence of serving our students and our children, communities, and adults in state of Wyoming. Now, many of the things that I have prepared, I realize that it overlaps with what Superintendent have already mentioned, but since I prepared it, I will go ahead and share it anyways. So literacy is not just one of many subjects. Literacy is a foundation of all learning, and it opens the doors to knowledge, opportunity, and civic participation. It is a key that unlocks a lifetime learning and engagement for our students. And therefore, this is a very critical, and really appreciate all the partners coming here together to promote advancing literacy for all of our students in Wyoming. Ensuring that every Wyoming student can read and write successfully requires a true coalition like what we have today of educators, policymakers, and communities working together toward a shared vision. And in this regard, again, today's meeting is reflection and clear testimony to that shared vision and commitment. We're so excited to be part of this commitment together and couldn't be more honored. In the College of Education, we are honored to stand alongside our partners from Wyoming Department of Education, the Joint Education Committee, State Board of Education, PTSB, school districts, parents, and many other important and dedicated partners who share our commitment to advancing literacy for every child in our state. As Wyoming's only 4-year teacher preparation program, the College of Education takes seriously its responsibility to prepare pre-service teachers and also to continue supporting in-service teachers. In our elementary education and elementary special education programs, students complete 5 rigorous literacy courses that equip future teachers with essential instructional strategies in phonological awareness, phonics, decoding, comprehension, and oral fluency, which are all components of structured literacy. So if you flip through or if you look at our website, we may not call it structural literacy, but we value the components of structural literacy and we view it as very important components of helping our students read and write successfully. We also recognize that literacy development is deeply multifaceted, which means children bring different background and different experiences to our classrooms. So effective teachers must therefore possess a broad repertoire of evidence-based and research-based practices to every learner. Beyond our initial certification programs, the college continues to serve Wyoming in-service teachers through our ongoing professional development, as my colleague, Dr. Gustafson, has mentioned. And we also offer K-3 literacy endorsement, also as she has mentioned, and master's and doctoral program. We understand that once we complete, our students complete our teacher training program, that's not where our responsibility ends. We must continue to support them because the landscape of education changes and the needs of our student changes. So basically, we understand that supporting our teachers and students require sort of lifelong commitment. And as also my colleague have mentioned, that we are currently working on developing certificate in helping teachers strengthen their knowledge and strategies to help students with dyslexia. Now, this work complements very well with department's ongoing effort and also the work that they're doing with Cox Campus. I would like to also say that not just with the literacy, but Wyoming Department of Education have been critical partner and superintendent have been really advocating for what we do in the College of Education and really recognizing the work that we're doing is not possible without our efforts together. Ultimately, we believe that advancing literacy for all Wyoming children takes ecosystem of shared responsibility. And this is why we're here together today. When educators, parents, policymakers, legislators work together, we create the conditions in which every child can become not only proficient reader, but an empowered and active and productive participant in Wyoming's future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shim. Another important component of this process of the pipeline that is literacy is around certification of teachers. The Professional Teaching Standards Board has been working hard and looking at how we raise the bar, how we recognize specific certification in literacy. So I'd now like to bring up Mr. Brendan O'Connor.
Thank you, Superintendent, and good afternoon. The Professional Teaching Standards Board is happy to once again partner with Wyoming Department of Education and the University of Wyoming College of Education to provide quality instruction to the students of Wyoming. Earlier this month, the PTSB had created a structured literacy certificate endorsement, which will recognize educators who have completed the structured literacy professional development, which you've heard discussed already. And that shows that they have the knowledge and skills to help all students improve their literacy proficiency. Additionally, PTSB created a dyslexia specialist endorsement for those who complete the UW Dyslexia Specialist program that is in development. This will provide more in-depth diagnostic support for struggling readers and will go beyond what the structured literacy PD or professional development will provide. So it is a natural extension. Educators can do the Cox campus piece, get really more in depth and provide more support and more strategies to improve really struggling readers across our state. Additionally, licensure tests are currently under development in what's called regeneration, a re-looking at it that will emphasize the teaching of reading so that future educators will be coming out being tested and assessed on their ability to teach reading to all students across the state. So once again, PTSB, the Professional Teaching Standards Board, is happy to engage with our fellow partners at the WDE and UW as we move forward in making sure that all students across our great state are proficient readers. Thank you.
Thank you, Director O'Connor. Now, as we all know, none of these partnerships or all of this work with these different entities matter if we are not reaching our parents, if we are not engaging our parents, if we're not empowering them to be involved in the education of their child, to be partners with us in these efforts. So today we also have the Wyoming Right to Read, which is a group of mothers that have come together in their excitement, their passion around making sure that every child knows how to read in the state of Wyoming. So here with us today to represent the group is Carrie Roden.
Thank you, Superintendent Degenfelder, for your leadership and commitment to the children of Wyoming. On behalf of Wyoming Right to Read, the International Dyslexia Association Rocky Mountain Branch, the Reading League Wyoming, and advocates across the state, especially our fearless leader, Heather Fleming, we are so proud to stand alongside the Wyoming Department of Education, the University of Wyoming, and Professional Teaching Standards Board to move literacy forward. Today's announcement represents more than a new initiative. It is a promise that reading is a right in Wyoming and not a privilege. For too long, too many children have struggled in silence, negatively affecting their self-esteem and health, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked access to evidence-based instruction. This new comprehensive K-12 literacy plan changes that. It empowers our teachers with the science of reading and structural literacy training, ensuring every student, including those with dyslexia and other language-based difficulties, have the opportunity to thrive. When educators are trained and supported in the science of reading and structured literacy, then students succeed. Again, this is centered around our teachers. And when students learn to read, their futures open wide. Every dream, every opportunity begins with literacy. Let me get off that. I choked up. Thank you for believing, as we do, that literacy is the foundation of equity, education, opportunity, and hope. Together, we are ensuring that every child in Wyoming has the right to read. But our work doesn't stop here. To bring this vision fully to life, we need your voices. I encourage everyone listening, from parents, educators, community members, to reach out to members of the Joint Education Committee and urge them to pass the K-12 comprehensive language and literacy law that will make this initiative possible. Together, let's show that Wyoming can be a leader and we stand united, and that we believe every child deserves the right to read, and now is the time to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. That was wonderful. So this is only the beginning. You've heard from many partners in this effort around literacy, but it is truly a community that must educate our children. And important additional partners that we've just begun speaking to include the early childhood learning community. It includes our community college partners. We have Laurel Ballard here with the Community College Commission. We've begun conversations with her as well. We have Nikki Baldwin that is in the early childhood center at the University of Wyoming. And so we're really just beginning. There is so much left to do in this true continuum that is ensuring that our children can read in this state. Now, if you've been following today and you're not in the literacy world, you've heard a lot of different things, a lot of exciting professional developments, opportunities, training, all of those things. And so if you didn't keep up with every single one of those, I want to be clear about our message today. This message today is about a coalition around literacy, and it's about the fact that we are taking on literacy as a priority in the state of Wyoming. And as was said, this is not just another initiative, this is a promise. We are coming together and we mean business when it comes to literacy for the children in the state of Wyoming. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Superintendent. Now we'd like to give an opportunity for our media that's currently in the room, if they have any questions.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I'm Ivy Seacrest with the Wyoming Tribune Eagle, and my question to you is, if you don't get the legislative support, where does this coalition stand?
That's a great question. Thank you, Ivy. We'll continue with this work. We'll work within the framework that we have in current statute, and we'll make sure that these initiatives move further. But I feel very confident in our partners in the legislature, recognizing the importance of this effort. That's what today is all about. But we won't stop there. We'll keep pushing. And as we know from the legislature, if you don't succeed on the first try, we bring it back again. And as long as I'm superintendent, we'll keep bringing it back every single year if it does not pass.
Any more? Oh, okay.
Then my follow-up to you is, how are you gauging success in literacy? What are the markers that we're trying to hit?
Another great question. You know, we always look at our assessment scores, how we're performing, English language arts. Now, of course, caveat there, our YTOP assessment is not simply a literacy or reading assessment. It's more comprehensive than that. And so that's important to keep in mind. But those measures to be able to see growth in our NAEP scores, to see the fact that our children are on grade level in their proficiency, that's very important. As was mentioned today, literacy is the bedrock foundation of education. And so when a child has become more literate, they are going to be more successful in those other areas as well. But we're making sure in our effort, particularly with our federal grant, we can do a better job of making sure that we're measuring those outcomes. We're looking at those schools that have received supports. How are they performing better? Where are they not performing better? Where are districts that are high performers? I'm an economist, and so data is incredibly important to me, and I think something we've underutilized, and that's what we'll be doing with this initiative as well.
Let's go online for just media that's online. If you could give your name and the media outlet you're with. You can raise your hand, sorry, on the Zoom. No questions? We'll give you one more moment in case somebody couldn't find their hand to raise it.
We gave them a lot. So.
We gave them a lot of minutes. Yeah, that's true. Okay. And of course, you have my contact information, all of those of you in the media. You can certainly reach out to me with anyone here as well. So thank you very much for coming today. And I'd like the speakers to hang around so we can get a picture. Have a great day.